Hey guys, so this time we're going to build a little application where, well, we are not going to build it from scratch. I already have some code added. You can add it on your own, so you will see we only have the main component and these two, the login and the main component. I'm going to show you in a bit, and of course the navigation. So I will show you in a bit, and we're going to build on top of that. Okay, so you know how to integrate JWT tokens. I already have an Angular and Node API that uses JWT token. Okay, so I'm not going to go fully in depth with this, so you can check what it's doing. This is just plain simple. It's checking for the request email and password and checking that is my email and this dummy password. So it's going to create a JWT token using the user email and the secret password, also adding the expiration, and we're going to respond with a token. And if this isn't matched in the request, we're going to respond a status 401 that is unauthorized. Okay. If you want me to build, well, we're going to build something later with Express and MERN stack. So I didn't want to build this from scratch. We're using a JWT token. Check the video about Angular and JWT tokens. Okay, even if you are this is for React, of course, but I explain what this thing is doing, what I did. So check that, and it also has a little route for the create post that is going to check for the authorization header. Okay, and verify the token. Okay, it's going to check if the header has the authentication, and it's going to verify that the token is still valid. If not, it's going to respond with a status 403, okay, and a message, and this is the safe space when everything is okay, and here you can do all the rest that you want to do. Okay, so, and another thing is that I have the login and sign up. This is just the same. You would search inside your database, okay, to check if the user exists that is being added in the request. Okay, we can check even the package.json. So this is available on my GitHub. So I install JWT token, Express JWT token, and Express. And if we go to index.js, you can see how this thing is set up. We use Express JWT token to set this secret word. We need this, and we don't want it to be used in the out path. What else? Install a JWT token, and yes, Express JWT token. Also, of course, because we want to allow the application React or Angular to be able, or even Vue, to be able to access this. Okay, so just go ahead and download this, npm install all this, and you are going to be able to test with me what happens with the JWT token inside React. So this might be a little, well, a kind of long video. I'm not sure about it, because we're going to do some things. Although I already have the application kind of working, this is not doing anything. Okay, I can do whatever, Oh, okay, of course, sorry. This is my application. So if I go, because we have the routes and the out is going to check for my, so this is it, okay, for this email and this password. So I just added that, and let's say login, okay. You can see that I received the token. I'm adding the token, consoling the token, okay, so I can see that. And if I come back and say, what is going to happen is that if this thing is done, okay, if the user has a valid JWT token, I'm just going to console the request body, okay, with the decoded token. So let's say whatever. So you would do whatever here and create post. It's going to respond with this. No, sorry, because I have my, is this one? This is the Node.js. It's going to respond with the body that with the title, content, and this is the decoded JWT token. Okay, and you can see here the authorization header with the bearer. Okay, that we're going to add, and you will see what happens if we don't have that. So yeah, let's build it. Let's see, I might cut this into several parts, so it's not that hard to digest. So let's close this application, close the git bash. I have my application here. So just let me check. This is the one. Just let me do some things. I already have this one. Yes, React JWT token tut. So just create a new React application, and let's open this with code, and I will show you what you need to do so you can get this thing ready. So you need to create a login, a main, and a nav. I already have installed. You should already know how this thing works, okay, with React Router. I have installed React Router. I have my routes here, okay. Even if you don't know, check the other courses about Firebase and React and the other ones, okay, and to understand how this thing is being done, and come back for something that is a little more intermediate, that is a JWT token. We're not going to refresh the tokens or anything else. I'm just going to show you how to get this thing working with RxJS. Okay, so this is the route. You can copy this, go to the index. Of course, you need to install React Router. Just go and install using npm install React Router DOM, and you should be good to go. So you need to import the browser router and wrap your application inside that. Okay, the app.js is just this. Just copy this. The login is just this. I'm just setting all this so I can start working, integrating the other functions, okay, for the JWT token. So I still have my Node and Express running that is going to give us the JWT token. So you should have that running too. So as I said, this is not a beginners tutorial, because you should already know how this thing works in order to understand what is going to happen. Okay, so I have this form. Just copy all this the way it is now. Let me show you the main, view, and or wrap. Okay, so let me remove this spacing. So just copy this as it is. Okay, the form that is going to post into our Express application, and just that. The navigation has nothing, that's why we are not showing the navigation here. Okay, Well, this one, of course, because this is the other application that was running, but we're not going to show the application yet. So let me go to, so I have this one, okay, and let's say npm start, and this is going to run, okay. It says it's something, okay, and I closed the application that wasn't okay. I always tend to do that. So let's say npm start again. So just give me a second. I have my Node and Node Express, okay, that I downloaded. That thing is running. So if we refresh, let's wait a second for our application to start. Okay, you can see React token out. It doesn't have the navigation, and if we do something, it's just going to respond with a dummy response. So let me get this thing straight in my other screen, and so yeah, I go ahead and download that, npm install the dependencies. That's it. Even if it says Angular 8, it doesn't matter. It's just the API, okay? So it doesn't matter. So I think it's time to start building this. Let's save this. What did I change? Nothing. Okay, you can see that we are not showing the login. We have the nav, okay, but we're going to build a nav in a second. And okay, I was going to open, as I said, this is going to be a little more, well, not kind of, I'm using not dev index to run my API. So you can use node mon, whatever you have installed to run that, or just node index, and that should work. So yes, let me just let's keep that open, and let's start. What we have? We have this that should be kind of private. Okay, we shouldn't allow access unless the user has the token. So we need to go and say npm RxJs. We are going to install this. Okay. So as I said on my other videos, we're going to start to step up a little bit the game here. Use some more complex things. What the hell is this thing? Is this one? Yep. So we need to install RxJS. We're going to well, this should mark the beginning of the RxJS race in React for us. So let's wait for this to be installed. I already have my RxJS tutorials with Angular, so it's essentially the same. So let's wait for that to be installed. You can see my package digestion. I only have React DOM installed right now, so RxJS should install in a second, and we're going to build the application. Yes, I'm going to build the services. Well, it's not, yeah, you could say it's a service. So let's go to source and create a new folder, and we're going to call it out. We're going to create a new file inside that is going to be headers.js. Okay, and we're going to build or create another one that is going to be just the out.js. So let's close all this, and we're going to open it as we need. Okay, that thing is installed. So let's say npm start again to run our application, and we're going to start. Fuck this. We're going to start with the out.js. Yes, because let's start right away with RxJS. So we're going to do something. If in case you are not used to work with RxJS, I will try to explain this. But as I said, I have some Angular courses, tutorials that use RxJS. So RxJS allows to manage observables or subscriptions. Okay, so we can mutate or transform those responses. Kinda, you can take it as so, and we can also create observables from certain variables, and we're going to use something like that here, that is the behavior subject. If you have seen one of my Angular videos, you know that this is going to allow us to pass some information between components. Okay, so let's build this, or let's create this constant that is going to be current user subject is going to be equals to a new behavior subject, and we're going to say JSON.parse the local storage that get item. We're going to store the access token, that is the name we're going to give to the token that is going to be sent by Node and Express. So we're going to create a new behavior subject, a new observable from the local storage get item, and we're going to look for the access token. Now we're going to create this object that is authentication service. So this one is going to be, or we're going to have some things. Okay, let's type login, logout. Sorry about that. So also current user, this is going to be the current user subject as observable. We're going to create this observable. No, that's not it. It's a comma, and we're going to get the value. Get current user value. And this one is going to return the current user subject that value. So let's add some space in there. And we're going to define the login and logout are going to be functions. Okay, so let's define those. Function login, we're going to accept an email and password, and we're going to create a new object that is going to be the user object, and it's going to have the email and password only to make it easier for us to handle these two values. So if you can hear something, it's my fan that is, well, give me a second. Well, it seems that is still making that sound. I hope it doesn't bother you. So let's say constant options. This is going to handle the fetch options. So we're going to say method post headers. and we're going to add for this call, content type application JSON body JSON stringify the user. So this is what we're actually going to send, and we're going to return the fetch, and I'm just going to copy this string. That is my route, the route that we're going to access in the Node application or in the Node API, and we pass the options. So then we're going to do something that we still don't have this. So let's say handle response, and then we're going to do something else that is going to be, we're going to receive after this handle response the user, and they're going to say local storage that set item access token JSON stringify the user. So this is the actual response, and current user subject. Yes, in order to assign a new value to this observable, okay, to this behavior subject, we need to use the next function. Okay, so it's going to assign a new value to that stream, and it's going to be the user. So after that, we return the user, and that's it for this login function. So we're going to handle now the logout. So this is going to just wait for this. In line 25, we're going to go, and this function is going to go inside the headers, I think. No, sorry, it's going to go below the logout. So I added the function here also, forgot. So let's say logout. What the hell? Function logout. So we need to do two things here. First, the local storage, or from the local storage, we're going to remove the item that is called access token, and it's going to we're going to use or set a new value for the current user subject. Remember that we need to use a next, and the value is going to be null. Okay, so we remove what it was, the user, and we're going to handle now or create this handle response function, handle response, that is going to receive the response, and from there we're going to do something. Let's say return response.text. Okay, so this is a promise. Then we use what we're getting, and we're going to say let data. This is just to have the information outside, and we're going to check if the response that okay. If not, we're going to check if the 401 and 403 are inside the response status, and -1. So we're going to say auto logout if for one or 403 responses or responses are returned. So we're going to say authentication service that logout, and window, we're going to use window.location reload to reload the application. Okay. Now below this if statement inside the response okay, we're going to say constant error, and it's going to be data and the message or the response status text. And we return the promise that reject with the error. I call that error. Let's keep the naming, and that's that. So else, so if the response is 401 or 403, we're going to just log out the user and reload true, and this is going to take us to the login. So let's say data equals to text and JSON parse text. So we're going to parse the response and return data. Okay, so this function is going to handle the error, or in case that happens, it's going to handle the response of the API and pass the rest of the information as the user. Okay, so this data that is passing on line 57 is the same thing that we're going to respond here on line 26, and you're going to store the user as the access token and set the new value for our observable. Okay, that should be it. That's it for this file. So let's go to headers, and we're going to do something here. Okay, so let's keep this functionality here. Yes, I'm going to stop the video here to see how things are going, you know, and we're going to continue adding this function that is going to set the headers so we can communicate with the API and finish the application. That should be just setting the nav and adding the rest to the main and the login. Okay, because remember that we still don't have that function. We're not using anything here, so we can start checking what we are receiving. So I'm going to cut this and see you in the next one.